Major tech companies have backed the introduction of federal data privacy laws at a Senate hearing on Wednesday. However, representatives from some of Silicon Valley's biggest firms say they want a, quote, national approach, not a 50-state approach to data privacy. That's absolutely fascinating, Arjun, isn't it? I didn't think of that. A federal approach versus a state-by-state approach as well. Of course they want a federal approach because it makes it easier for them and less costly with the different lawyers and what have you. But we're seeing a state-by-state approach at the same time as a federal approach, are we?
That's right, and the problem they have in particular with California. That state introduced a law earlier this year that had a lot of similarities with the GDPR here in the EU, and it was about giving customers more control of their data. The problem for these tech companies is they said it was too arduous, too burdensome, and if California is allowed to introduce their law and the other states then introduce their laws, it's going to be very difficult for them to implement this across the US. And so that's why they're backing a federal law, and that's no surprise. They've already got regulation here in Europe which they have to contend with. They definitely don't want a plethora of new legislation in the US.
Excuse my ignorance, and I apologise to our US viewers about this as well. Can you have a federal law and you have a separate state law as well?
It doesn't seem to, in the case of the privacy law, it seems to be that you can, but that's exactly what these technology companies want to avoid. They want the federal law to be preemptive and therefore come in before the Californian law, which is set to come into effect in 2020. But the problem is, again, it's what I was saying yesterday on air as well. It doesn't seem like the federal government really has any idea of what some kind of legislation around data privacy looks like. They praised a lot of aspects of the GDPR, which of course we know is imperfect. We know it hasn't really had a major impact of any of the businesses of these technology companies, bar perhaps Facebook, which has seen a small impact. But again, it seems like any kind of federal law is a long way off, and that being able to introduce that before 2020, before this California law comes in, does seem like a long way off.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.